My entitled mom tries to steal my disability payments behind my back. I've been seeing a therapist after my dad died suddenly from a heart attack some years back. I was still living with my parents, so I was at home when it happened. I was the one who called 911 and called my older siblings to let them know something was wrong. A few months passed, and I go to my first appointment with my new doctor. While filling out a survey, I explained that I wasn't sure how to answer their questions about my mental health. I then explained what happened, and they asked me if I went to talk to someone. I said yes. We spent a few weeks speaking, and then I started to go to therapy. An important note, I was in my mid-20s when all this happened. I was an adult. I've been struggling to find employment, and my therapist helped me find an employment counselor. It was the winter of 2018-2019, and still no luck with employment. My mom asked if I could be put on disability benefits for anxiety. She's looking for the Social Security payments since I was struggling to find a job. While anxiety was a part of my diagnosis, it's never been to the point where I can't go out in public. I bring this up to my therapist, and she didn't think we'd get anywhere with that. I told my mom this, and I thought that was the end of it. Fast forward to 2019. I noticed there's an appointment on our calendar in the kitchen. My mom's the type to write down what the appointment's for, but this didn't have that. Instead, I just had my name and the time of the appointment. I asked her about this, and my mom made it sound like we were doing some sort of family therapy session. Needless to say, I would have rather eaten my own foot than do this. At that point in my life, my therapy sessions had become a place where I can express my feelings, and it was a safe place overall. It was a place for me to express myself without someone else being there and taking what I have to say the worst possible way. I didn't want to talk about my feelings with anyone in my family. The day of the appointment arrives and the person comes. She was there to assess me to see if I was eligible for disability. I had no knowledge of this and I did not consent. I pointed this out, but the assessment continued. I pointed out that my mom made it sound like some sort of counseling session. Her response was along the line of, "Well, it kind of is." What I think happened was my mom ran into an older cousin of mine, and by older, I mean my cousin's youngest child is a few years older than me. My cousin's middle child had some kind of mental handicap. I don't know what the specifics are. I just know it's to the point where it's highly unlikely that he can ever live alone. She likely talked to my cousin about how someone could get disability benefits, took the matter into her own hands from there, and went behind my back to set up this appointment. So there we are, my mom trying to cheat the system for money, and I honestly felt like I was going to faint. I was that mortified that she did this behind my back. Maybe I should have made more of a scene and made it clear to the woman that I did not consent to any of this, but I didn't doubt for a second that I'd be treated as the one in the wrong by my mom and siblings, even though it was my trust and privacy that had been completely violated. At my next appointment with my therapist, I honestly think the woman who had assessed me spoke to her, so my therapist already knew what was going on. What she thought happened was that the woman who came over thought I was a minor or skipped a step in the procedure. The point is, the woman who came over messed up. I know I should probably be mad at her too, but I always found I was more forgiving of this. My therapist did help me feel a little bit better by confirming what I already suspected, that this wasn't going to go the way my mom hoped. And it didn't. Sometime later, I got a letter saying that I was not eligible for disability benefits. My mom said she was going to try to make an appeal, but my therapist assured me that she could try, but not only was she grasping at straws, she wasn't going to get anywhere without my permission this time. As far as I can tell, she got to blissfully move on while I'm still double checking with anyone, my therapist, my employment counselor, my doctor's office, and anyone in between to make sure something like this will never happen again. It is bonkers to me that this actually happened. The fact that his mom tried to sign him up for disability payments just to then have the goal of taking those disability payments and using them for herself or something is so unbelievably unethical and illegal, I can't even begin to explain it. Anybody can deal with mental health issues and have some kind of hiccup that causes them to have problems in their lives, but to have someone go on your behalf and try and sign you up for disability just to try and take your payments is appalling. I feel so bad for this person, and I really hope they find the help that they need. And if I were them, I would cut my mom out of my life and say no more, no thanks, and goodbye. This next story came from the Am I the Jerk podcast subreddit. If you'd like to submit your own stories, check out the links in the description.
The full version of this video is on the Am I the Jerk YouTube channel, so check out the link in the description for it. And if there are any updates to this, that's where they'll be, in the same link. I know a lot of times people like to listen to the Am I the Jerk podcast to chill out or put on in the background. Sometimes people even sleep to it or they do other things while they're listening to it. But if you're ever in the mood for just some chill music you want to put on in the background while you're doing your thing, check out Easy Mode. You can search for Easy Mode on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever you use, or just go to easymode.com. And as a side note, if you're a streamer on Twitch or YouTube or whatever, you can actually use Easy Mode music to put on the background of your stream for free.